Welcome to Rising Coaches with Sofia Bernardi. In today's episode, I have the absolute honor of interviewing the beautiful Tanya Jane. So, Tanya was born and raised in Sydney, Australia, and spent over a decade living out her childhood dreams of being a pro dancer in LA, working with artists such as Will Smith, CHER, Nick Jonas, Balvin, and more. In 2021, she started working on her mindset and diving deep into energetics to raise the standard of her wealth, lifestyle, career, and relationships. After seeing how quickly her life transformed, she started her own mindset coaching business and built it to multiple six figures in less than 2.5 years. Tanya is known for helping high achieving women turn impossible dreams into new normal and has now helped hundreds of women create extraordinary success and extraordinary quality of life through her online programs, masterminds, and mentorship. In this week's episode, I'm going to be diving deep into Tanya's story so that you can learn the exact process that she used to manifest her dream life so that you can do the same. Enjoy. Hey Tanya, welcome to Rising Coaches with Sofia Bernardi.
Hi, babe. I'm so excited to be here.
Me too. This is going to be such a beautiful conversation because just from what we've just been talking about off mic, I can tell we have like the same energy. We have similar values and beliefs and we support a similar target audience as well. So let's dive straight on in so that my audience can get to know you. Did you want to give us a quick background on like who you are, who you help, and how you got in this position helping these people?
Yeah, totally. So my name's Tanya Jane, and I'm originally from Sydney, Australia, but I actually moved to LA to pursue my childhood dreams when I was very, very young, when I was 19. So I've always been a big dreamer and high achiever, and getting to be now running my business, it is purely to help big dreamers and high achievers turn impossible dreams into the new normal. And I've done that in so many different ways in my life and have always kind of been that type of girl that doesn't really care what everyone else is doing, doesn't really follow the like norm of like, oh, after we graduate school, I should probably, figure out the next move, go to uni, study, or like do the things. I was like, I am going to pursue my dream and let's see if I can move across the world and let's see if I can dance for the biggest artists in the world. Like, let's give it a go. And I think that Delulu energy has been, a gift that I've always been able to tap into. So I was able to make that dream happen in 2012 and lived that career in that industry as a professional dancer for over a decade. And it was incredible. It was amazing. Lived the dreams, achieved the things. But where my passion for what I do now really kicks in is even though I was experiencing success, it was like, it was never enough. It was a dangling carrot. It was like, the milestone just kept moving. It was once I hit that job or that TV show or that artist, I was on a high for a day, a week, maybe a month if I was lucky. And then it was very quick before I was waking up the next day being like, can I even do it again? What am I going to do? How am I going to do this? I'm broke. Like, oh my God. And this like spiral, this emotional roller coaster that I kind of lived my life on. And I just, looking back now, I just wasn't equipped with the right mindset to really pursue a high level career like that I had to have so much determination and drive and commitment. And also very similar to entrepreneurship. Like, you've got to be able to take the punches. You've got to be able to have the moments where you fall and your face is in the mud, but then get back up and be like, I'm back, like, here we go. Like, and I took things very personal. I also was quite young. And I think when you have high passion for a dream mixed with like high pressure to have that dream produce your rent and produce your financial well-being and your stability, it creates like a kind of like, it disconnects you sometimes from the passion and why you kind of got into it in the first place when you're just trying to survive. So I reached this point. I was getting, at the time, this was in 2021. This is when I really had that moment that I feel like kind of everyone has where they're like, I'm so sick of this shit. So I reached that point where I was like, fuck this. What am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I allowing myself to live this quality of life? My career is great, but my quality of life is trash. Like my standards for myself and how I treat myself in between the wins is like, I'm either succeeding today or I'm failing today. And there was no in between. And that really just impacted my well-being, my health, my happiness. And I got to that point where I was like, I know pursuing a dream and a career and prioritizing my career is always going to be a priority for me because it makes me happy. But can I do it in a different way? Can I have extraordinary success and live a really great life and have a beautiful relationship and make a shit ton of money and have like nice things? And that really began my journey into mindset and energetics and actually learning how to raise my self-image and expect more and raise the standard for my life. And my life actually transformed really fast. I went from struggling to pay my $800 rent to driving a brand new Mercedes in 8 weeks. And then we moved into a nicer place, and then money just kept coming. And then after I realized how much my life transformed just from changing my thoughts, I was like, I need to tell everyone, anyone who listens to me, I'm going to tell you what I just learned because I'm not special. And that's how I started my business.
Wow, I love that. And I relate so much to your journey. I definitely identify as a very like highly ambitious action taker, go-getter person. And prior to entering the personal development world, every goal I set was to achieve something to feel good enough. And the journey wasn't fun and I didn't feel good in the journey. It was just to like reach the end of the goal. And like you said, it lasts about 5 minutes, like if that, and then you're on to the next thing. And I remember this so clearly. I trained for like 3 months to run half a marathon, and I was someone that did not identify as a runner at all. And literally, like I worked so hard for that. And within 5 minutes of finishing the race or whatever, I literally said to my PT, I was like, okay, now what? Like after 12 weeks of trying so hard. And so I totally understand like that mentality and how we can achieve these amazing things, and that's so great. But if we can't enjoy the journey and also truly celebrate ourselves into how far we've come and where we're at, then it kind of defeats the purpose. Because when you look at the timeline of your life, those achievement moments are the smallest tiny little blips in our world, and everything else outside of that matters so much. So I love that you kind of had that journey of like going from achieving these big things to realizing that you wanted to have it all, but enjoy the whole, like love your life basically. And I think that that's so special if you're targeting those ambitious women. Like, is it just women you work with?
For the most part, I do have a
Yeah.
few men, I was about to say males, men that float into my world, but definitely mostly women.
Yeah, so like just ambitious people, right? It's like they absolutely need what you teach, because it's so true. Like if you don't grab hold of that and learn how like your thoughts are just everything, and learn how to love your life and everything in between, then people can go down some pretty dark pathways where they get to the top of the ladder or they reach like the pinnacle of success, and then they become depressed because they're like, well, I'm at the very top of what I was working towards and I'm still miserable, so maybe I'm the problem. Like you see that all the time with famous people. So I love that you had that realization and now you help others with it.
Yeah. And something that I've come to realize the more that I dive into the energetics piece and the way that I feel in my life and being where I'm at now, to look back on that 10+ year career, living life that way, I'm like, I'm dissecting it. I'm like, what would I have changed? Where was the problem? Like, what was the belief? Like, what happened? Like, how did that kind of like happen? And what I've come to realize from my own experience, but also working with so many high achieving women, is this power that you have, your community has, my community has, of like that high level drive and that willingness, that determination, that commitment, that like all in energy. That is our superpower. That's why we get the results we do. That's why we get to have the reward of the life and the money and the business and the success. However, that is also our kryptonite. That's what leads us and you to that place of finishing 12 weeks and literally being like, cool, next. Like
Yeah.
It's like it's the charge, it's the superpower that activates us and gets us the results. But it's also, if we don't monitor it, if we don't, you know, pull it into line, sometimes it will draw us to the dark side where nothing's ever enough, we're not enough, and we just keep pushing, which obviously, as you know, will lead to, it's a one-way street to burnout. And
Yeah,
no one has time for that.
definitely
No one has
not.
time for that.
So, if before what drove you was like achieving and reaching certain goals, like I'm really curious, what drives you now? What fulfills you now?
That's an interesting question. So now what drives me is how I want to experience wealth and a lifestyle where I actually get to see and experience who I truly am. And what I mean by that is, like, until you are able to, and who knows how long this journey will take me, but until you're able to actually have the resources and the lifestyle to be able to be like, what do I really love? What do
Mm,
I what type of food do I really love if money wasn't an option? Where would I want to live if money was an option? How would I spend my time if I actually had the freedom to pick and choose whatever I want? And this, like, two things really. The what drives me now is the curiosity of what I'm capable of.
yeah.
Now seeing, you know, having a multi six-figure business kind of pop up out of nowhere. I'm just like, oh my God, if I can do that, like, what else can I do? Like, I didn't even think I could do that. And that, like, is still crazy to me. So there's like the curiosity around how much more am I capable of if I
Mm,
work on myself, if I prioritize my joy, if I do things that light me up, if I tend to my energy, like, how much am I capable of? And then also, like, what is the fullest expression of me in
I
my
love
life, in my relationship, in my career, like, just experiencing me at my best.
I love that answer. That's so beautiful. So it sounds like, yeah, you've gone through this really big journey for yourself first, and now you help others with it. So if anyone's listening to this right now and they identify as like this super ambitious person, goal, like, they set these goals and they want to create this incredible life, like walk me through some of the key things that they should consider or do first if they wanted to kind of go down the route that you have of like fully transforming their life and building a lot of success in many areas of their life.
Yeah, totally. So I talk about, I kind of group all the key things into like one term, which is for me success energetics. And that's basically like the identity piece, the belief piece, your self-image. And this to me is the key to everything because, and I'm sure you see this, like, you can have everyone in your program do the same strategy and not everyone's going to get the same result. It's like, why? Clearly there's something bigger at play here. Or in my dance industry experience, you could be the best person in the job, for the job. You could be the most talented, you could be the most skilled and not get the job. Why?
Mm.
So it clearly is more. It's more than just the skill. It's more than the talent. It's more than the strategy. There's something else that is contributing to the result that you're going to get. So this is where, for me, the success energetics really comes in, which is your belief system. Like, what are the stories that you're telling yourself? How do you think and feel about you in your life? How do you think and feel about you in relationship to your dreams right now? And how we feel about ourselves is everything, because the universe is just mirroring that to us everywhere. So if you're feeling, a little bit of insecurity, and this happens to everyone, it's not like you're alone at all. Like, we all have these moments where we feel insecure or have moments of doubt, have moments of like fear, all of this stuff. But that is the universe's way of being like, hey girl, like, there's some work, like, you can fix this. Like, this isn't a problem. And I think the biggest thing and the biggest mistake I see people make is on this journey to transforming your life, whatever that is for you, whether it's your lifestyle, your relationship, your wealth, whatever it is. On this journey to getting there, you have to get clear on who you want to be. You have to become that next level self, but also is you have to let go of who you've been. And that's petrifying.
Mm.
Like, that's scary as hell. And for me, this was like the biggest challenge. I had to let go of the identity of Tanya the dancer. And I'd been Tanya the dancer since I was like 5. So it was like the only me I knew. And the safety and the comfort of me in life as that identity, how people relate to me as that identity. My friends know me as that. I get respect for that. I get congratulated for that. There's so much tied into the way that we get validation and feel confident that's warped into our identity. And when you're creating something new, it's new. So it's unknown, and it's going to require you to just bravely and courageously walk into the unknown to create it. You're creating it in real time. So it is going to be scary, and there is going to be doubt, and you are going to I know this happens to myself and all my clients. You commit, you go all in, you're like, I'm transforming my life, like I'm doing it, it's happening, I'm on my way. You invest, you're committed. A week later, maybe a few weeks later, a few months later, whatever it is, there's moments where you're like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Like, what have I done? Who am I? I don't even know what's happening. Like, these moments are a part of it. And I always reference this book title. Haven't read the book, but there's this book title called The Common Path to Uncommon Success. And the fear, the doubt, the questioning, all of these emotions, this is the common path. Like, this is all very normal for the uncommon, the impossible dreams, the unrealistic dreams. So if you're feeling these things, you're right on the money to me. Like, that is the sign. When I'm feeling fear, when I'm having moments of doubt, I'll check in with myself and I'm like, am I currently leveling up somewhere? Like, am I desiring more money right now? Am I desiring more clients? Am I getting ready for a launch? Are we moving places? Am I getting a new car? Like, is there something going on? And 100% of the time, I'm in the middle of holding the void, holding the here I am now, and I have this dream, and I'm like, I'm about to launch. I'm about to post the whatever. I'm about to do whatever it is. So of course I have fear. Of course I have doubt. It makes total sense. I'm becoming someone I've never been before. So in order to be confident in that way, the confidence is only built through courage. There's no other way. You have to build the confidence. So that was a long-winded answer.
No, I love that answer, because I think it really normalizes the journey for people, that they don't have to be this perfect human that never has a negative thought, never has fear, never has doubt. Like, I think that's really reassuring. And I don't know, if you relate to this at all, but I really find that whenever I now go through a challenge or feeling stuckness in a certain area of my life, usually it's my business, I'm like, I used to make that a problem and a bad thing, but now I'm like, oh, I'm about to up level on the other side of this. Like, I know that there's a transformation or a breakthrough or an up level happening right on the other side of this stuckness. And so now it's like almost a toxic trait of mine. I'm like, whenever I get stuck or in a bad place, I'm like, oh, this is a really good thing. And it happens every time. Like, I have this massive up level after feeling this way. And it's just crazy how it's the same emotions, but in the beginning of my business journey, I made it a problem and a bad thing. And now I make it a really good thing and an exciting thing, because I know what's coming on the other side of it. And it just it's such a reframe that they're not even negative feelings or whatever they are. They're just they're just human emotion. And if we can really listen to why we're feeling certain things and do something about it, then on the other side of that is the transformation that we're wanting.
Oh my God, I resonate with that so much. And as you continue to do this journey, and as you continue to keep seeing how much you're capable of and keep putting yourself out there, and also if you're just committed, if you're just kind of that all-in type of chick, you're going to bump up against your growth edges quite often. Especially if you're doing this work and you're investing in yourself, it's every few months you're like, oh, here it is again. We're growing again. And in the beginning, I remember when I first started doing this work in 2021, when I first started to invest, and I made that decision. I had that moment where I was like, I'm literally unavailable to continue living the way that I am. I'm unavailable to talk shit to myself about myself. I'm unavailable to have conversations with my friends about how broke we are. No, I'm done. I'm done with that identity. I'm sick of it. I honestly got fed up even living the way that I was and accepting that. And that was very empowering. It was a very incredible moment to experience myself be so done. And then it was followed by an investment. But a few weeks later, and this is something that I know, and as well, it's you got to choose it again. Like it's not enough to choose to be all in once, because like the high of that power, that surge of like, I'm sick of it, like that wore off after the high of like making the
Pause.
decision and investing. And then I got scared. Then I was like, oh, what am I doing? I've never been able to do this. And I had to choose it again and choose it again. And I'm so glad that I kept doing that, because every time I chose it, built more trust in the process. And so now, 2.5 years in, very similar to what you're saying, in those moments of when I'm like, oh my God, I'm scared. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. What's happening? Like, things feel off. Things feel icky. Things don't feel good right now, whether it's my lifestyle, whether it's my schedule, whether it's my programs. Like, something's off, something's not feeling aligned. I don't like it. Old me would have like had a complete meltdown, gone into bed and been like, that's it, like it's over.
Yeah.
And now it's met with like that mentality that you have of like, I know exactly what's going on here. Let me lean into this. Let me give myself space for this. Let me clear the calendar. Like something's coming through. Here we go. Like, so it definitely is a different experience now, but it's because there's more trust in myself. There's more trust in something bigger than me. Like there's ultimately what there's trust in that I'll always be okay.
Yeah.
And I didn't always have that, like I didn't always believe that I was going to be okay. So that has also been cultivated through doing this work, and being so consistent in this work is developing that trust in the process.
Yeah, I love that so much. And especially that piece on self-trust for one, like I see that is so important for business owners. Like if they don't trust themselves, like that's a real problem. But then the other piece that you spoke into was like that being all in. And I see it all the time. You're so right. Like you said it so perfectly. Like they are all in when things are working or when they're starting or, when things are great. But the moment like one small inconvenience, one life circumstance, one challenge, one problem enters their world, they give up, they quit, they pull back, they lean out. And it's like, that's actually not all in. All in is showing up in the good times, the bad times, the ugly times, and everything in between more often than not. That is all in. Like it is so important. Like, and I see it all the time. These incredible people that have such strong gifts and passions to help people, and they have all of the right intentions, and it's just that if your mindset gets in the way and challenges come up, they make it mean something about them, they make it mean a huge problem, and they lean out. And we can't have the great without the bad as well. Like there's going to be polarity in that, and when you are setting these really big goals and you're moving towards your dreams and creating this amazing life, you're gonna have like things go wrong, and you're gonna have challenges, and you're gonna have problems. And so, you know, it's so important that we lean in during those times. I'm sure you've experienced this yourself if you've grown your business to multiple six figures. Like, that's amazing. You would have so many great clients, great client results, and so many incredible experiences. But I have no doubt that you've also experienced the opposite, like payment failures, or people wanting to pull out, or people, saying one thing and then doing another, or being raving fans of you and then suddenly not. Like, usually that sort of stuff comes with the package of creating that amazing abundance. And unfortunately, not many people can hold that stuff because, it is painful and it is uncomfortable. But then I really have this like mentality, or something I share with my clients, is like, if we can't hold that, then we can't hold more. When those challenges arise, it is an opportunity for us to lean in and overcome it and learn how to hold it. Because if we can't hold that, how could we possibly hold more wealth, more abundance, and all of the things?
Oh my God, I couldn't agree more. And I have like a few things that I want to share with you. So the first thing is on that note of like the challenges and the things that come with like that, or more clients, more payments, like all those things. I went through a challenging moment. It was actually, I was very lucky in my business. In the 2.5 years, I only had one problem with a situation. And that was in this year. And for like the first few days, I was like really scared. I was like, oh, what have I done? Like, oh my gosh, I did not know how to handle it. And then I had this moment where I was like, oh, I'm in millionaire training boot camp right now. That's what's happening. Like I am in millionaire boot camp. Literally called my assistant. I was like, get on Zoom. We need to have a meeting. I was like, what needs to change so this never happens again? What systems do we need to put in place? I can't handle these types of conversations. You need to take this moving forward. I'm removing myself from like X, Y, and Z. Now we have a system. This is what's happening. And the growth in myself as a leader, but also the business was like huge. I'm literally so grateful for that situation because it quantum leaped my strategy and my system and my organization, but also it allowed me to give my assistant like more leadership and more part in my business, which is her dream. She wants to help and support and be like that right hand man to someone. So it actually like paid off really beautifully. So that's like the that was my first thing, and that was my realization of, oh, this is Millionaire Bootcamp. I'm in. Like, what do I need to learn here? Instead
Yes.
of freaking the fuck out and having an absolute panic attack, which don't stress, definitely did that too, but
Yeah.
pulled it together.
But if you get the learning, then it's fine.
Exactly. And then something that's really helped me handle these moments of like, you know, ups and downs, highs and lows, putting something out there, maybe it didn't do well, or like just those moments where you have to really hold those challenging moments of holding the belief, holding the faith, holding the trust in the vision when you're not getting that feedback, right? And this is where I was able to change this because of my experience doing this wrong, in my opinion, wrong for so long, was making this journey a black and white experience of, am I succeeding today? Am I on a job today? Or did I get booked on a gig today? Or for a business world, did my reel do well today? Have I gotten a client today? It's like that leaves zero room for your energy to hold more. Like your capacity to hold your success or failure is like this big. Like it's so small. If you're measuring your success off how your reel did, if you got your email opened up by X amount of percentage of your email list, like, and this, the way I view this is expanding the context of how I see my vision. So playing in a 10x context of like, okay, well, what's the seven-figure me doing? How is she, and what does that get to look like for me to become that seven-figure business owner and have a seven-figure brand? And that expands the context out of today, this reel, this moment, this client. And it makes more spaciousness for you to not only handle more challenging moments, but it also opens up your space to receive more, whether that be clients, payments, or ideas, or, you know, create creative moments, because you're not so tunnel vision on right this second.
I love that so much. I would love to hear, before we start to wrap up, the type of people you attract in your world. Like, what's their current situation typically? Like, what's their life look like? What are their problems? Where are they at? Are they entrepreneurs? Are they not entrepreneurs? Like, who are they? And then I would also love to talk about, you know, what are some of the things that have happened as a result of doing your work?
Yeah. So I feel like, I'm not sure where where you stand on this around like niches, but I don't really niche down at all. And really the way that I view this is I'm the niche. Like I am the niche because
Yes.
I am I have had experience in this industry and I had this experience there, and this is what I know how to do here. And basically the values of my life is what I really bring to my business. And the value is extraordinary success and extraordinary quality of life. And so I actually have a lot of online business owners, of course, like a lot of online coaches, but I also have a lot of creatives. So like some dancers, some creative producers, directors, some athletes, like anyone who's pursuing a dream at a high level. They're my people, because what I'm going to help you with is, and obviously some of my clients in my closer proximity containers, like one-on-one or my mastermind, we're diving a bit more into their business, their strategy, like what are they doing on the day-to-day to hit their goals. But in like my signature program, it's on the success energetics. It's on becoming the version of you who has the life that you want, and not just in your career, who has the lifestyle and having your life be bigger than your career. So that is the bulk of my work. And I believe, well, not I believe, I know the process that I take my clients through in my program's called School of Dreams, which is that the success energetics, the belief, identity, self-image. I've used that process I use that process to manifest my multi-six-figure business, but I use that process to also level up my relationship with my now husband. I use that process to raise my belief in myself, to go from our 1-bedroom apartment into our 3-bedroom home in LA. Like, I use it for everything because it's energy. It's like, it's me. It's about me. It's not even about the like external thing. It's about me believing in what I want to do. So that is really the essence of my work, and that attracts a lot of people, which they all fall in that category of high achievers pursuing a very big dream, all in, committed type of people. And yeah, some of my incredible wins from my clients. I had a client come into my world, and she was in a 9 to 5, and she was just like miserable. She just wasn't loving it. And really desired more money. And again, it was the lifestyle. She wanted to live a better quality of life, make more money, deepen her relationship, all the things. And she actually, with working together, she left her 9 to 5, started her business, which was a HR consulting business, so not an online coach. And she built it to 5-figure months pretty much by like the second month, and built a $250,000 business in 6 months. Just like from going all in, working the success energetics, because she had the skills, she had the ability, she was just lacking the belief. She was just lacking the self-image. Like, she knew how to do the thing. She had the tools, but it was the energy that was needing to be infused into that for her to get those results. So that is one of my favorite stories. And another one is one of my clients in the School of Dreams. She's in the entertainment industry. And I also love giving different examples because, again, it's like some people will say to me, oh, this only works because you have your own business. And I'm like, well, not really, because my life popped off when I was still dancing. I didn't even have my business. So clearly it's not about selling money or selling programs or like selling anything. It's about who I've become and then what I do with who I've become, So one of my clients in the School of Dreams, she is in the entertainment industry, and had very similar limiting beliefs as me, as like, there's no way I'm going to be able to make 5 figures as a dancer, like, or in the entertainment industry. Like, you're laughing. There's not a chance. And then she also had the limiting belief of, there's no way that I can be consistent and have consistent income or consistent jobs, because the industry, it's paycheck to paycheck. It's whatever. And a few months into our work together, she started making 5 figures as a dancer, and she's booked months in advance. I'm pretty sure she's booked for the remainder of the year. And it just goes to show, again, like, the industry didn't change, that like nothing else is changing, but she changed. Like, the person is changing, and then the universe is responding to them. And that's where the results are coming from. Yeah, it's happening.
I love that. That just goes to show the power of, like, your belief system, your identity, your mindset, and the energetics within all of that. It's so powerful.
Yeah, I love it. I'm obsessed, clearly.
Is there anything you feel that has been left unsaid today that you'd like to speak into?
I think something that has really supported myself in creating consistency in my business, but also a sustainable business. Going back to kind of what we said in the beginning of, like, it's all fun and dandy to like have a great launch or get the payment, get the client, but then wake up the next morning and be like, cool, great. Like, how do I do that again? Like, whatever, like we know that feeling. Or hit your first 5-figure month, and then the next month is like so low, and you're like, okay, I can't, like, where's the consistency here? So something that's really supported me in my growth in my online business to have sustainable and consistent growth is this mindset shift around making the energetic work, meaning working on myself, working on my mindset in whatever capacity that may be, a lifestyle. Like, this is not something I'm doing just to get the next client, or just because I have a launch in October, or just because I've decided I'm on a high right now and I want to make this decision. Like, this work of feeling into what are my beliefs, rewiring my beliefs, prioritizing the way that I feel, not scrolling on Instagram, being very clear on what do I really want, connecting to my vision. This is what I do for my life. Like this, I made this a lifestyle choice, not a let me do this so I can just get the result, because I did that for a very long time. And the thing with that is it will work. Like if you show up and you put in the work and you do the things X, Y, and Z, you'll get the result. But who you are experiencing that result is still the version of you who has a lack mindset, who has a low self-image. So you're not going to be able to sustain that result. That's when the dips come. That's when you're not getting the consistency. So I kind of word it like in my world, I talk about this from like manufacturing your manifestation, meaning who do I need to be just because I've decided now I have a launch coming up. I'm going to meditate every morning before my launch. I'm going to journal all the time about the clients coming in. I'm going to do my thing. I'm posting on social media consistently for the next 2 weeks because I have my launch. Then your launch pops off and you do well, but then you're like, and you go back to who you were. And then your money stops. And then your client leads, they stop coming in. It's like you manufactured the experience to get the result, which means it's not who you are and you're a match to who you are. So consistency and sustainability and growth in this way is when, for me, it's just who I am. Yeah. And the easiest way to make it who I am is to make it a lifestyle.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, because that is exactly what I really believe in and talk about all of the time on the podcast. Yeah. I have absolutely love this conversation. I think so many people are going to get their own little golden nuggets out of today and be able to implement it straight into their world, into their business, into their life, and recognize how important their identity is and the consistency of that is. So if people want to work with you, learn more about you, follow your journey, where can people find you? Tell us all the things.
Yeah, so I hang out the most on Instagram. My handle is @TanyaJane. I have a podcast called the Big Dreamers Bible Podcast, which Sofia is about to be on in just a few minutes. And then I have 3 ways to work with me. There's the School of Dreams, which is my program that I really teach you the success energetics. I have my high-level mastermind called the Extraordinary Mastermind. And that's about creating extraordinary success, but also that extraordinary quality of life. And then one-on-one. So if you're interested in anything, or if you just want to know where to start this journey to level up your life, slide in my DMs. You're always welcome to reach out and I can help you start.
Thank you so much. This has been the best.
Thanks, babe.
If you enjoyed this episode and want my help to scale your coaching business much faster, then I want to invite you to join Scale School, the 12-month mastermind for ambitious female coaches ready to scale their business to 30K months and beyond the simple, sustainable way. Scale School is the only way to work with me. So if you'd like to learn more and see if this mastermind is for you, simply click the link in the show notes or come DM me @Sofia Rose Bernardi on Instagram to chat. Until next time, take care.